Well, hello there, and welcome to my kitchen table. A place in most homes where we can sit with family and friends and just talk for hours. We're off to London again today, the capital city of this here UK, or United Kingdom, I should say. Now, at this point, I would normally give you some touristy type information about London, but today I've got some different information for you. In 2023, there were 112 murders in London, in England. 21 of these were attacks on teenagers, kids. Among these victims, 18 were stabbed, 2 were shot, and 1 was killed when his moped was purposely hit by a car. That just doesn't compute. Right, some of you may be saying, 112, is that all? Or words to that effect. Let me just put it in perspective for you. London is the biggest city in the UK. It's our capital city. And it has 10 million residents. That's all. 10 million. So, 112 murders in our capital city is a lot. Considering that virtually every corner has got CCTV, which comes in really handy when you're trying to solve 112 murders. Also, can I say, if you carry a knife, you're actually more likely to be injured by a knife. And then there's the guns. Handguns are totally illegal in the UK. All handguns. So goodness only knows where they get them from. And as for driving your car into a kid on a moped to kill him, that just blows me away. That's ridiculous. Anyway, now you know where we're starting. Take a seat and I'll tell you a story. This story is just one example of what knife crime does to a person, to a family, to a whole community. Today, I would like to talk about a beautiful young lady that was taken much, much too soon. She aspired to be a lawyer, and she was in her final year at the old palace of John Whitgift School. That's a selective independent school for girls in Croydon in London. She was popular with other pupils and with the staff. She was a gymnast, a much loved friend, and a much loved pupil. Elianne Andam was only 15 years old when she was savagely attacked. This happened about 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday the 27th of September 2023, while she was on her way to school with her friends. A row had started on the number 60 bus outside the Whitgift Shopping Centre close to East Croydon station 5 minutes from school. As Elianne and her friends got off the bus, a teenage boy dressed in black approached the group of girls and tried to give a bunch of roses to his ex-girlfriend, who told him in no uncertain terms that she didn't want to talk to him. Elianne actually tried to intervene to protect her friend, and he pulled out a large knife from the waistband of his trousers and stabbed her multiple times in the neck, chest and torso. Elianne was slain by the 17-year-old boy on Wellesley Road in Croydon, South London. First aid was initially administered to Elianne by witnesses, including the bus driver and a lady passenger. Police and a medical team were there within minutes. They all did the best they could, but her life couldn't be saved. She died at the scene from the many wounds inflicted on her in the brutal attack, and she was declared dead at around 9:20 a.m. The horrific crime was witnessed by several onlookers, including Elianne's school friends and bus passengers. The accused teenager ran away, don't they always, after committing the senseless attack. But he was caught and arrested later the same morning. Forensic scientists at the scene collected blood-stained red roses and a love note which read, "I love you so, so much, and I have never met someone with a better smile and better eyes than you have." That was written by the killer. How sweet. To his ex-girlfriend, and was attached to the bunch of red roses he tried to give her. Elianne's family released a statement through Metropolitan Police. A spokesperson for the family said, "Our hearts are broken by the senseless death of our daughter. Elianne was the light of our lives. She was bright and funny, with many friends who all adored her. She was only 15 and had her whole life ahead of her, with hopes and dreams for the future. All those dreams have now been shattered. Our lives have fallen apart, along with that of our wider family. We ask the media to please respect our privacy as we try to grieve the short life of our beautiful child." The police spokesperson actually went on to say that we know many people were in the area at the time and would have witnessed the attack. This would have been distressing and traumatic, and I would encourage anyone who needs support to contact us, and we will help arrange this. She thanked the people of Croydon for their support during the inquiries. I love the way they say inquiries. It's an investigation. On Thursday evening, the day after the murder, Elianne's parents, Michael and Dorcas Andam, appeared at the scene of the stabbing. They were accompanied by about 20 family members and friends. They stood behind the police cordon and next to the bus stop where the number 60 bus had been parked since the murder. The family were touching each other's shoulders in support, hugging and consoling each other, while some laid flowers where it was believed Elianne had been stabbed, all under the gaze of dozens of photographers and camera operators, before taking shelter in the Whitgift Shopping Centre. Now, they shouldn't have had to do that. The press should have just left them alone. Later, Bishop Rosemary Mallet read a statement on behalf of the family, with Elianne's aunt Marion by her side. The statement said, "We as a family are struggling to comprehend the painful tragedy that has happened to our beautiful daughter and beloved sister Elianne. Our hearts are broken and we are overwhelmed by sorrow and grief. Our faith in the Lord is strengthening us. We would like to express our gratitude to those who have taken the time to send us thoughtful and compassionate messages and prayers. We kindly ask for your consideration to also respect our need for privacy as we attempt to come to grips with our deeply devastating loss. Elianne was a beautiful person, inside and out, who loved Jesus. She was intelligent, thoughtful, kind, and had a bright future ahead of her. It is our request that you keep our cherished daughter, Elianne, and our family in your thoughts and prayers." Croydon church leaders all said a prayer for Elianne. A week later, there was a vigil attended by over 1,000 people. It was next to the police cordon in South London where Elianne had died. Bishop Mark Nicholson from Acts Christian Church said, "Our hearts are burning. It doesn't matter if you are related or not. Another life lost. In our city, always majoring on knife crime. I don't have the solution, but I can pray to bring solace. Not just one side of the family, both. Loads of things are going on in their minds at the moment. You see, that's something that people don't often think of. The lad who stabbed her has also got a family. Imagine what they're going through right now. Elianne's father is a writer of Christian teachings, while her mother works as an NHS specialist nurse, safeguarding children. Both are of Ghanaian heritage and are active in the Christian community. Elianne's mother is, like I said, an NHS children's nurse, but she's worked and saved to send her daughter to a top private school to fulfil her dream of becoming a lawyer. Her Aunt Marion said she wanted to be a lawyer. She went to private school paid for by my sister and had a great future ahead of her. She was a lovely girl. She loved doing her hair. She had beautiful, natural hair. And she loved gymnastics. Detective Chief Inspector Rebecca Woodsford, who was leading the investigation at the time, she said, "Our investigation continues and we are making good progress. We have recovered CCTV from the area and have spoken to a number of witnesses. Forensic scientists have also examined the scene." Former Metropolitan Police Chief Superintendent Simon Ovens, it's probably Ovens, but it's spelt Ovens, said, and he's got a good point, in all honesty. Police have got to get to grips with young people carrying knives. There has been a huge drop in stop and search in the last 10 years. The police are scared of stopping young people in the street because of the risk of complaints. Youngsters are therefore prepared to carry knives because they know the chance of being found with a weapon is low. As well as carrying knives, they're prepared to use them. And they never think about the consequences for their victim or themselves. The 17-year-old boy was arrested nearly 5 miles away in New Addington on suspicion of murder just over an hour after the attack. Well done, Met Police. At his first court appearance, the teenage suspect, who was dressed in a black shirt and grey track pants, stood with his hands behind his back in the dock during the proceeding. The boy, and he is a boy, he's not a man, he's a boy, he's a child. The boy, whose name cannot be revealed under British law because of his age, like I said, he's a child, spoke only when asked to confirm his name and his birth date. He did not enter pleas to 1 count of murder and 1 count of possessing a knife. Justice Mark Lucraft, the judge, remanded the youth to a juvenile detention centre. Elianne's parents sat in the court with a 30-minute hearing. At his plea hearing in March 2024, the boy appeared via video link at the Old Bailey. Now, the Old Bailey is like, it's our top court. It's our top Crown Court. And, well, it's in London. So the teenage boy appeared via video link at the Old Bailey and pleaded, are you ready for this? Guilty to Elianne's manslaughter, but denied murder. This plea was not accepted by the Crown Prosecution Service, and a trial is set to take place starting 25th of November 2024 at the Old Bailey. The boy also denied possessing a blade in a public place. It is alleged by the prosecution that her attacker, wearing a mask and gloves, removed a large knife from his waistband and stabbed Elianne repeatedly. There's about 80 witnesses. Right? So, just to clarify, he's pleaded guilty to manslaughter, but not to having a knife. So what did he stab her with? His big toe? Come on. His defence lawyer leaves a lot to be desired, I'm telling you, because that just does not make any sense whatsoever. At Elianne's funeral in November 2023, her Aunt Sylvia read a eulogy, and Elianne was described as a remarkable and multifaceted individual with an infectious enthusiasm for all things good and beautiful. She spoke of the 15-year-old's love for music, friends, fashion, gymnastics, drawing, cooking, singing, adding that she had a charismatic and vivacious personality. She said, as we say goodbye to Elianne, we take comfort in the knowledge that she is at peace, with her faith realised. She said, her memory will forever be cherished in our hearts. We look forward to the day when we will meet again in eternity. And then she said, rest in peace, rest in power. Right, so that's my story of Elianne, and I will, of course, do an update when the little shit who killed her is finally in court. Knife carrying can be seen as the norm in some communities. And some people carry knives because they think everyone else is. But that's not the case. Over the last 2 years, we've seen an increase in knife-related offences, and this is having devastating effects on communities of all ages. Studies suggest that a lot of knife carrying is driven by fear and wanting to protect yourself from others who may also be carrying a knife. Self-defence or self-protection is not a valid reason for carrying a knife or an offensive weapon. And this choice could have serious consequences for that person. If you carry a knife, you put yourself and everyone around you in danger. Carrying a knife is illegal. Carrying a knife increases your risk of being injured. It also increases the risk of people around you being injured, and can cause great distress and upset for your family. Police in the UK are allowed to stop and search someone if they believe a weapon is being carried. Having a criminal record could stop you getting into college or university, or even travelling abroad to places like the USA. Individuals aged 14 to 36 are more likely to carry a knife. 99% of young people don't carry a knife. If you're found carrying a knife, you could spend up to 4 years in prison. 4 years. You can report knife crime or information about knife crime totally anonymously by calling Crime Stoppers. In the UK, that's 0800 555 111. It's a free call. Doesn't even show up on your phone bill. Certain types of knives are completely banned in the UK. Even if you keep them in your home, they're banned. These include butterfly knives, zombie knives, disguised knives, and flick knives. Any sharp object with the intent of using it in a threatening manner could be classed as an offensive weapon. I can actually verify that. I used to be a taxi driver. Right, you know what us girlies are like for doing our nails. I had a 6-inch steel nail file in the pocket in my door, and I used to do my nails. On a police stop, just on a regular stop, there was nothing actually wrong. That was taken off me because it was an offensive weapon. It was a nail file. See what I mean? Police have the power to stop and search any person if they have reasonable grounds to suspect that person may be carrying something that is against the law or could cause harm to others. Now that could include illegal drugs, a knife, a weapon, stolen item, an item that could be used to commit a crime, like a crowbar, monkey wrench. So any younger ones that are watching this, especially between the ages of, 14 to 34, just bear that in mind. Thank you very much. And with those final words of wisdom, I will say thank you very much. thank you for letting me tell you this story, and thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot. If you found it interesting, please hit the thumbs up sign on YouTube and subscribe. It's free. That's so the bots know that you found it interesting. Robots, that stands for. Okay, and just one more thing. Remember, smiling lets you choose the face you show to the world. I've been Sue, TTFN.